About Kirk Cousins, who is facing backlash for comments he made regarding the coronavirus. Cousins said on a podcast that he takes a, quote, survival of the fittest kind of approach to add to the to the virus, that is. Then added, quote, if I die, I die. I kind of have peace about that. He also added that he wears a mask out of respect to others. Well, Cousins clarified his comments. Let's take a listen.
And admittedly, I probably wasn't as clear as I would have liked to have been. But what I wanted to say then, what I would echo again now, is that while the virus does not give me a great amount of personal fear, there's still great reason for me to engage in wearing a mask. Obviously, to be respectful and considerate of other people, which is very important. But then also, to be available for all 16 games this fall. There's plenty of reasons to wear a mask, social distance, and be very vigilant to help stop the spread of the virus.
This dude. Lamar, good to have you back and masked up. But Marcel, let's come to you first. Did Kirk Cousins need to clarify his comments on the coronavirus?
No, he didn't need to clarify his comments. Not for me, not for those that I think are reasonable in terms of their reception and understanding of someone's words. He actually showed respect even to the other side, to the mask wearer, saying, hey, I wear a mask too, out of respect for you. But that got lost in the sauce. And what is the sauce? This culture right now, a horrible culture in terms of mindset that tolerates intolerance. Like, we actually are accepting and think it's mainstream to look at someone who has a difference of opinion or difference of approach and want to all of a sudden outcast that person, want to disparage that person, want to go and undermine that person and take that as an attack, a personal attack. Too many people right now, they marry their ideas to their identity. So anytime you're different than them, they don't just want to talk about what you're different about in that opinion, that idea. No, it's deeper than that. They have to go out there and attack you personally. So that's why he clarified it, because he's like, hey, wait, one, I am walking on faith. I am Kirk Cousins, who has a different belief system than maybe some of you guys. But in all respect, this just really turned into a moment where everyone gathered around mob mentality, tolerating and being intolerant while they're tolerating someone else. And to me, it's just sad to see.
But I thought that was a good reason as to why he should have clarified and possibly why he did clarify. I wanted to be in this segment with my mask on to make sure that I was mindful of our spatial awareness and not to spit my words on, your Acho. So that's why I put my mask on, because, Kirk Cousins inspired me to make sure I'm mindful of my mask. But I thought that the response, I thought you touched on it at the end, Marcellus. Listen, when he says I'm at peace with if I were to die and, survival of the fittest, I think what got lost in the first time he stated what he was stating, it was all based upon looking at it through the scope of what football represents and the machismo approach to, which is easy to place anybody into, of what football represents. But you're right. He was coming from a spiritual component, a spiritual aspect that wasn't really touched on in that first interview and the comments that he made. Yep. And I think to come back out and say, listen, I do have spiritual beliefs. I do have a deeply rooted faith that God is what he represents to Kirk Cousins. And so to come back out and put it in that framework definitely puts it in a different light than just saying survival of the fittest and almost as though the dangers connected to coronavirus. So I thought it was justified to clear it up, and I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I'll pick up where you left off. Gentlemen, Kirk Cousins didn't need to clarify his comments. And let me start by saying I don't even agree with Kirk Cousins' ideology. So it's not like me and Kirk Cousins are on the same team. I fervently believe in wearing a mask. I fervently believe in what the doctors say. That's just me. But just because I believe it doesn't mean that Kirk Cousins needs to believe it himself. What Kirk Cousins needs to do is still continue to respect other people's safety, respect other people's space, respect other people's well-being. Again, maybe it's just because I was a football player, so my whole life is sports. If it's 3rd and 6 and coach calls a zero pressure, which means a max blitz, I might not agree with the play call. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run the play because that's what the coach called. So if Kirk Cousins does not agree with the call, figuratively speaking, he's still running the play because the doctors, the coach said, hey, you should run this. The government or the mayor said, hey, you need to run this. Whether he agrees or not, I do not really care. He doesn't need to come out and make an apology. Remember, whether he thinks that the doctors, what they're saying is true or not, that's his prerogative. Some people still think the earth is flat. That's on them. It's not going to affect whether I think the earth is flat or not. That's on them. Some people are anti-vaxxers. Some people don't like medicine. They got a headache. They just going to ride it out. I'm popping Advil like they Skittles, but that is my prerogative. So I have no issue with Kirk Cousins and what he said. We all need to understand, if you agree, if you disagree, do you just be respectful of what I do while you disagree, and don't let your disagreement put my life in jeopardy.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't like him clarifying. I'm getting tired of people just caving into that pressure, and it is a pressure. Whether it's your social media timeline just bombarding you with everyone who's coming at you.
It'll do it.
And it will do it. And you know what I say to them? Funk you. Funk you.
How you spell it?
No, forget your fools. And Grandma said, if you didn't make me, you can't break me. So shoot, shoot, shoot. Air balls. All of those shots, because why am I clarifying myself? I said it right the first time. If you're not listening or you're not agreeing, guess what? That is a you problem, damn it. And you need to figure it out. But I'm not going to help you in echo of my actions and statements to say it again, to clarify it, to distill them even more, just because you got the wax in your ears or you're intolerant. So I'm just sick and tired that we don't respect. We're all at the base of this mountain trying to climb up. And you decide to go that path. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go this way. Damn it, as long as I get to the top of my mountain, why are you tripping on which way I went so much? I'm just going to give Kirk Cousins no words of advice, just encouragement and support that say you and do you, and let the rest just fall where it may.
Listen, I covered Kirk Cousins when he got drafted to the Washington the Washington football team. Mm-hmm. And I got an opportunity to learn a lot about what his character traits are connected to. And he's truly deeply rooted in Christianity and what that represents. If Jesus had to respond several times, he would, because he felt as though that's something that's consistent with making sure that the message is clear so that, you know, you can reach people in the way that you're trying to reach them. Kirk Cousins has always been a justifier. He has always been one to explain the positive and the glass half full effect of what's taking place, whether it's with the team, whether it's with himself. So, again, I didn't have a problem with him clarifying it. I don't think that it's so deep to go into it that he was addressing it based off of a mob mentality or anything else that, you know, is being discussed. He truly wants to make sure that he's impactful with the messages that he's putting out there to the general public. And he always wants to make sure